So when it comes to SEC reporting, there are three types of filers. So the exam likes to test you on understanding the differences in large accelerated filers, and other filers. So large accelerated filers will have a market valuation of $700 million or more. Right? These are companies that are worth a lot of money. People are investing in them. They need to have their own category. So anything between 75 million and 700 million will be classified as an accelerated filer. These are going to be medium-sized companies. And then the smallest companies, which is what we're talking about in this question, will have a market valuation of less than 75 million. So if it's 75 million exactly, it's still going to be classified as an accelerated filer. Okay, and again, that's a medium-sized company in terms of valuation. The smallest size company in terms of valuation, once again, will have a valuation of less than 75 million. 75 million is the best answer choice. Equivalents have a maturity of 3 months or less.
All right, team. So in this question, we're really focused on the number of days that a company has subsequent to their year end to file their Form 10K, which is their annual report. Now, as we learned in the lecture, right, public companies, it depends on their filing status. Right, as you can see in the visual, well, we have large accelerated filers, we have accelerated filers, then we have other filers. Right, and that's usually based on the company's market capitalization or their public float. So we can either have to focus on that, or they could tell us in the question the type of filer that the company is. And in this one, it says they are an accelerated filer, right? So if we look at step 2, that means for the 10K, they have 75 days to file that report, right? So 75 days is the correct answer here.
Okay, so this is a two-part question. The first part to this question is determining whether or not this is an accelerated filer or a large accelerated filer. The second part to this question is determining whether we are reporting Form 10K or Form 10Q. So the first sentence to this question dictates whether or not this is going to be presented as an accelerated filer or a large accelerated filer. And the reason that this is a large accelerated filer is because it says that the company has a market value of $850 million. Large accelerated filers will have a market valuation of $700 million or more. Okay, so they're going to be presenting their annual report within 60 days after year end. Their quarterly report will be presented within 40 days after year end. So we know that this is a large accelerated filer. An accelerated filer will have a market value of between 75 million and 700 million. Okay, so once again, because it's 850 million, this will be a large accelerated filer. The second sentence tells us that this is a Form 10K that is being reported, right? Not Form 10Q. And the reason is because it says they're preparing their annual report. 10Q is quarterly report. Okay, so that's why these two are going to be correct, and that's why this is the best answer choice. Large accelerated filer and 10K. Very straightforward question. We want to know which of the following is the annual report filed with the US SEC. Always, always, always going to be Form 10K. That's the annual report. Form 10Q is the quarterly report. All right. Form S1 is going to be the report that is filed when a company is thinking about going public, right? This is the registration statement. Form 8K is going to be a form that is filed when a major event occurred. All right. So Form 8K and Form S1, a little bit more miscellaneous. The two primary forms are going to be Form 10K and Form 10Q. The correct answer choice here would be Form 10K because we're talking about the annual report. If we were talking about the quarterly report, it would be Form 10Q. Okay, this company has $800 million as their public float. So what does that tell us per our handy-dandy mental map? That tells us this is a large accelerated filer. Okay, so if you see the words public float, don't let this freak you out. We're still talking about market valuation. Okay, so this is greater than 700 million, which would be the criteria for being classified as a large accelerated filer. Now we got to know our dates. So because this is a large accelerated filer, they're going to have 60 days after the end of the reporting period to report their annual report, which is Form 10K, and within 40 days after the end of the period to report Form 10Q. So if you're looking at this answer choice, right, Form 10Q within 40 days after the end of the reporting period, and you're thinking, why is that incorrect? He just said that that's the requirement. It is, but this question is asking for the annual report. Okay, so the annual report is always going to be 10K, and the requirement for filing Form 10K is going to be within 60 days after the end of the reporting period. That's why this is the best answer choice.